Hi everyone, Cranky here, and got a new video coming out just on the CBA talks in the last week, and a bit of NHL news as well. As you can see here, the gameplay is Erie Otters versus the Vancouver Canucks. The reason why I'm the Erie Otters is because there's a new rostered update with NHL, and as you can see, Mcdavid is one of the new players, so that's why we went with them. And we'll just keep continuing with pretty much a week's worth of news and some CBA talk. So we'll dive into the news. Rick Nash has come back from Russia to get some scans on a groin problem that he's been having since he's gone over there. You guys might have heard it, he injured it quite a while ago, about his third or fourth game. So he has come back. They do say it's precautionary, but obviously, you know, it might be worse than that. We don't know. Obviously, whenever they bring out an injury, it's always like, or to be disclosed, or they have an upper body injury. We can't even tell you what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I decided to go Erie Otters. So we'll see how things go here. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle just because I am versing a harder team, but that's all right. We'll make do from there. And I have a message from someone, obviously. Also today, just a quick side note, is the 25th anniversary of a goalie shooting it down the one end of the ice to another and scoring a goal. It was Hextall. He did it. So yeah, just on a bit of a good note. London Knights, Max Domi, Domi's boy from Toronto, scored a goal to help his team keep their 18-win streak alive. So London Knights in the CHL obviously doing very well for themselves. Anyway, so now we'll go to the fun of the CBA talks. So pretty much what happened was we've had 3 days of CBA talks, and the idea was, I can't remember the score there. The idea was that they would remove Donald Fear and Bettman from the room, and they would try and get some talk starting from there, just because, you know, the hate between Fear and Donald Fear and Bettman is quite strong. As you can see, I got a power play here. So pretty much what happened was that on Tuesday we had excellent talks. Both teams had their problems. You know, they conveyed them. They had really deep, in-depth talk about what their problems were with the league, what their problems were with the upcoming season. And yeah, so they pretty much went from there. No real problems with that. I think I score here. Let's see, yeah, pass, goal, yeah. That's how you do it, Evans. Yeah, boy, that's how you do it on the power play. They've got 2 skaters, so the best way to beat 2 skaters is by passing, because as you can see, there is no one on him, even though I did shoot it at goal and got a rebound. Yeah, so Tuesday was all good. You know, they pulled their problems together, and it seemed very constructive, seeing what we've had in the past, which is Donald Fear, you know, delaying tactics, the NHL firing shots before they get into a meeting. Like, there wasn't any of those things. No press interviews where one side fires a shot at the other side. Nothing like that. And then Wednesday in the morning, things were going really well. And then in the afternoon, the NHL owners that were on in this meeting went, righto, it's time to offer a CBA. So we're off for something, and we'll see how this goes. I get a fucking give up power play here. So it's a bit hard penalty killing with this team. So we'll see how I end up doing. So they do put forth a deal. Now they've moved make whole up from 200 million to 300 million. So that's $100 million. On the provision that they sign a deal that involves free agent contracts. I almost scored there. Free agent contracts, if you're signing to another team, when you are a free agent, it's a 5-year maximum deal. If you then sign with the same team, it's a 7-year maximum deal. So, I mean, that's alright. As long as you stay at the same team, you get 7 years. I mean, the whole thing about the players bringing on a salary cap, you know, 8 years ago was so they could have contract flexibility. So that's why it's a bit of a sting for them, but the NHL have said that this is the hill that we're going to die on, and that is a quote from Bill Daly, and Bill Daly's generally the one that doesn't say things like that, so pretty fun. I'll take a look at this. Just absolutely burns Luongo. Absolutely burns him. I pull it back and it just goes, and it just enough. Just pull it back enough. Anyway, and there's a few other things like the NHL. The matter of the week was the pension. So the NHL said, yep, we will sort that. We will sort that. Guarantee we'll sort that if you sign this deal. There's a few other things like escrow and things like that. I can't really get too much in escrow because it's the most painful thing to try to explain to someone. And then the NHL players went, yeah, cool, we'll take that $100 million and then we'll negotiate everything else. And the owners were like, well, no, it's pretty much, this is the deal here, like, you know, $100 million in the provision that you sign all this. If that's not what you want, then we'll have to look at getting a deal without that $100 million. So it actually got quite heated to the point where the owners were like, well, if this is going to be it, we're just going to leave. And then the player association went, no, look, we're here. Let's have a 20-minute break, go out. Like, it's getting a bit heated. Let's go out. We'll come back and then we'll talk about it some more. So then they talk about it some more, and then so the meeting left with, hey guys, let's you know, give us a yes or no answer. That's pretty much it from the PA. Give us a yes or no answer. And then in the morning of that, the Players Association said, no more of this, you know, Donald Fear can't be in the meetings anymore. Anyone can show up. So effectively that means Fear and Bettman could show up. Pretty much meaning that they're probably not going to say yes to the deal. Because Fear does everything but sign a deal. Bear in mind, he's trying to do that to make the Player Association, you know, get a better deal, and so is the NHL. It's this whole thing of there's, you know, both teams are in the wrong when it comes to the fans, but when that's just coming to their, like, you know, getting best deal for their side, they're right, if that makes sense. So anyway, Fear comes back, and so Bettman says, well, I don't need to go to this because it's just a yes or no answer, right? And so Daly goes, and then all of a sudden they have Players Association have a new CBA. And they give that to the owners. Anyway, after stalling for ages, by the way, too. It was meant to start at 12, then 2, then 4, and then it ended up being 6 or 5. Anyway, so this deal was pretty much the exact same as the all other deals. It just had this 300, like the one that the players gave before. It just had an extra 100 million on the make whole. It was just like, yep, cool, we've taken that. Oh, I got a penalty shot here, so we'll see if Hodge can score here. As you can see, he gets it. Oh, beautiful. He went too deep in the net. It's very hard to be accurate. As you can see, like, I had a whole net free and I ended up shooting it into him, but ended up being a goal. So I can't complain too much. So 3-0 up with the Erie Otters. That's you can't complain too much going into the first, but we'll see what happens. So, of course, the owners end up rejecting it. And then talks pretty much break off because that hate is there because the owners have believed, well, we've given you all this, what's going on? And so now we'll go through a rundown with everything. So the players don't want to sign a maximum, a deal where the maximum contract can be 7 years. Now, I'll put this into perspective for you. There is 750 players in the NHL Players Association. 750. Right now, with players currently, not players that have signed over 7 years and it's elapsed past that time, but players currently over 7-year contracts left with 7 years left on their contract is 22 out of 750. That's it. That's all it is. It's really protecting the superstars of the game, but there aren't many, even second-line players that are signed for more than 7 years, even 5 to that point. Like, most of them are on 4-year deals or 3-year deals, things like that. So it's really only the superstars that get affected here. It's not, the people that are coming up, or the third-line defenders, or the fourth-line forwards. This doesn't affect them at all. I mean, you're never going to have like a Joe Vitale from the Penguins or someone like that signed to a fucking 12-year deal. It's ridiculous. So the players have said, no, we can't do this. Now, I don't understand why the players didn't go, all right, well, give us that 100 million and we'll move on a couple of things and maybe make contracts 6 and 8 years instead of 7 and 5. That's how you're meant to negotiate. And to be honest, 8 years at one club, and you're a free agent when you're 27 years old. So, that puts you at 35. So it's pretty much, yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously so players don't want to do it because they want Eli Kovalchuk contracts. Because if you're a player, those contracts are awesome. I give him a penalty shot here. This is a perfect example of what you do when you're on a penalty shot. I go out, I challenge him, and then I see where he's going, and I just block it. There is no way he is scoring on this. I found, you know, you could see where he was going, just blocks up the hole. It was amazing. So I was happy with that. But, you know, he's still on a power play, so I'm pretty sure he scores on this. Spoiler alert. So, as you can see, it's really only superstars that are affected. Now, when you look at a Players Association meeting, most of them aren't superstars. Most of them aren't, because most of the ones that have gone to college aren't superstars. Because they're the ones that have gone to college and, you know, done whatever degree, had to wait a few years to go in the NHL, where you've got your Sidney Crosbys and your Martin St. Louis and things like... I think Martin St. Louis actually took a while to get into the league, but, you know, or your Jonathan Tays and things like that. They didn't go to college. They went straight into hockey, like straight away. They didn't really even play in the minors. They were just like, yep, thank you for playing, thank you for coming, bang, we'll shove you in here. So, okay, so that's a sticky point, and where the NHL have gone, this is it. This is the hill we're going to die on. If you want unlimited contracts like it is before, it's not going to work at all. Now, the Players Association have done a few ideas, like if that player does retire, then the initial team that signed him has to take up that cap hit for the time until obviously that contract's over. So, like, the Flyers would be screwed in that scenario because they've got a few contracts like that, or Rick DiPietro, he's still got a million years left on his contract, and he's 31 years old, you know. So, I mean, yeah, there's a few of those players that are just, yeah, obviously that's not going to work right now, because it just hamstrings. Yeah, he scored there. He gets a bit cocky, does the little ride. I hate that ride, it's so arrogant, it just pisses me off. Anyway, yep, so they don't agree to that at all. Talks break off. And now we're stuck in this limbo where we're back to where we... Oh, look how bad this hit was. Sorry, guys, I keep I keep breaking off. Look how bad this hit is. I like headbutt the wall. Just take a look, I think it was roughing. Yeah, it was roughing. Just dolphin dive into the wall. Yeah, what the hell are you pissed off about? The player's broke his neck. Yeah, so we don't have a deal. That's pretty much it. There was some press conferences after that where Donald Fear said, we're really close. We're really, really close to a deal. Money's the same. Everything's the same. And then Bettman and Daly had an interview where they were like, I can't believe we're here. They wanted to get a deal done this week. You could tell they wanted it. Oh, I can't believe I didn't score that. You could tell they wanted a deal. Now, you know, effectively they could probably give up a bit more, but they wanted a deal done. Now, the reason why Fear is so upbeat about it, a few players called him afterwards. A few players, they got called by coaches and things like that saying, you know, get ready, you might be coming back soon. And called with their concerns. And he goes, the reason why I'm not... There will be a deal. There'll just be a better deal than that. We've got them sweating. We've got them where we want them. So, I think I score here. Yeah, Brown backhands it. That's such an easy goal. See what I mean? Just passing plays when you're versing two players. You know, it's just like, we've got them sweating. We're going to get the deal we want. And you know, that's got to really piss off someone like Bettman. Now, obviously, Bettman's not liking this because he's dealing with someone that's much like himself when it comes to negotiating. But obviously, you know, Fear doesn't have the power of a lockout or anything like that. Well, I mean, he does have a player strike, but that didn't happen. So, you know, he doesn't have the lockout. So what he has is stall tactics and frustration. That's all he has. But I don't think the Players Association isn't as unanimous now as they were before. I think there's some division in the ranks, i.e. Sidney Crosby, charter flight with owner. Kind of sounds like it's going a little bit behind the back of some owners. I mean, of the Players Association, but it ended up okay. You know, they got the $100 million back, but obviously no deal was signed, and yeah, so we're back to the hatred and everything like that again. If you heard either one of the press conferences, I'll link them below in the videos too. If you heard either one of them, if you hear Bettman, just the hatred in his voice, and the frustration, and Daly's press conferences are usually good. He's usually the upbeat, like, happy face. Hey guys, you know, everything's okay. You know, he's a little bit more depressed than that, but you know, he's usually the voice of reason or the voice of wisdom. But he was frustrated as anything, which I guess is where the Players Association want them. They've got them where they want them. They have this team, they have the owners exactly where they want them. Now, whether they... I don't think either team has the guts to kill the season. That was a stupid play. I was trying to cut off a pass that would be able to bring up the ice, but yeah, I ended up stripping him. So we're pretty much at the point now where I don't think either team has the guts to kill the season, to intentionally kill the season. But we're at the point where both sides had that much distaste for each other, that may become an option. Now, I don't want that. No one wants that. But if a deal doesn't get done by a certain point, then... yeah, I mean, I was a bit pissed off there. Time ran out. I've had a bit of a breakaway. But, so, yeah, like, if there's that much hate and there's no deal that can get done, and Fear's tactic is, well, let's just wait, we'll get a better deal, eventually that's going to play into the NHL's favour, because they've got players that aren't making money. They're going to want to make money, and they're going to get to a certain point in the season where they go, if we cancel the season, you guys aren't getting a paycheck for a whole year. We're going to offer you this because you guys want paychecks. So, I mean, it sort of works on both sides, the stall tactics. Now, oh, sorry guys, I'll just get a bit of water here. Oh man, I hate this please wait business. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah, I went through there. I thought he quit. And so I was a bit worried, but no, he stayed on. What a trooper. I'll just take a sip of water. Oh, my throat was rather parched. So we'll continue on. Sorry for the long video, guys. Like I said, these things are perfect if you're on the train, 20 minutes, you got some time to kill, load up YouTube, whack this in, just shove your headphones in and you just listen to it. Or if you're just at home, oh, I can't believe he didn't score there. If you're just at home, you want a bit of facts, a different view on the matter, perfect for that. But anyway, we'll keep going here. So I don't think there's any intentional want to kill the season, obviously. Oh yeah. See, this is another thing with two players. You get a couple of breakaways here. Scores. I like it. Mcdavid's been quiet. That's the whole reason I went this team. So I don't think there's any of that. But if you... oh yeah, here we go. I thought he was going to quit. Yeah, I got the please wait. I was like, oh, damn, I'm going to have to do another thing because it's not going to be long enough to hold my video. But he didn't. To his credit, he didn't. So we'll go through and then... So after all the talks had completely broken down, on Thursday a few owners made some statements. Now the statements were pretty much like, hey, Gary Bettman, may I suck on your penis? Not really like that, but it was like, Commissioner, Bettman should be thanked for the idea of proposing it, rah rah. One of them said Fear should be thanked for agreeing it, but really it was nothing. But there's comments like, I hope that going backwards does not prevent a deal. We understand the situation, but to come back with such aggressive commitment from the Players Association is not acceptable. I'm deeply disappointed that we are unable to bring an extremely unfortunate situation to a successful conclusion. I wish to apologise to our fans and sponsors for letting them down. Things like that. Obviously, they're not talking to the media because, well, the players have been told, the owners have been told don't talk to the media because they're apparently scum. And, well, pretty much it's just so none of them come out and say anything like, you guys are cows and you're playing on our ranches or something like that. We don't want any of that shit again. So, yeah, so we're pretty much at the point where, I mean, I don't see any talks at the start of this week or successful talks at the start of this week because Fear's obvious ploy is to say, well, let's get a better deal. Let's do this. But I don't understand why they're not negotiating. All they need is to get in the same room and say, all right, and no more of this, like, if you agree to this, then we get this, we'll give you this if you do this, this, and this. They need to work stuff out one at a time. And then if something breaks down in that one column, go to in the next column. That's honestly the only way they're going to be able to get this thing fucking done. And it's going to be long, and it's going to be arduous, and it could take a whole week of just being in a room, but at least they're fucking talking. Going away for a whole weekend for 4 days, it's been 4 days now with not even a call, nothing. It's been 4 days with nothing thus far. Doesn't bring a season back. It doesn't bring anything back, which pretty much means sponsors lose out, the NHL loses out, and more importantly, us fans that just sat there just like, oh, you guys will come back, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. You guys come back. We really don't need to worry about you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming. We'll see you in a few months when we get hockey. Otherwise, we'll see you in October when the next season starts. And it's just annoying. Obviously, it's annoying for you guys as well. Everyone just wants a season, but yeah, especially as a Penguins fan, like this season would be great, obviously, because in the last few years we haven't done that well in the playoffs, and I'm just kind of thinking that, oh man, I keep going offside. I'm just kind of thinking that you know, there's a chance to go forward this year, and you know, fans are like Rangers and things like that. There's so much promise there, and now it's pretty much dead. If you look at here, it's 1-27. That's the one thing. If you go a crap team, you can't hit. It just doesn't work. Poke check. It's just, yeah, there's just that disdain. Oh, it's just one hockey. Like, that's it. I didn't see the player up there. What a stupid offside. But anyway, at least I get out my first line back out. So, for my predictions would be that there's not going to be another deal put forth for another week. Both sides are going to need to play hockey. There isn't anything like a salary cap or anything else to worry about. The only thing is that if the NHL decide to go the arbitration way and a deal doesn't come from that, because believe me, the NHL are prepared for this. They prepared for this before the lockout, because that was the NBA's game plan. Was, hey, we're gonna fold our Players Association, and then you didn't have a collective bargaining agreement, and then things like the draft, and things like salary caps and maximum salaries become illegal. So have fun with that. Oh yeah, trading's also, like, everything's illegal. Everything would be illegal. So, you know, someone like McKinnon comes forward and he's just a free agent. Anyone could, to the richest bidder he will go, and that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, which obviously isn't good. Also, if there's no season, I wonder if I have a draft lottery as well. That's pretty funny. Another one of those. Hopefully, Penguins get McKinnon and I'll laugh my head off. But yeah, so pretty much, it's not going to be a good week, I don't think, for hockey fans this week. Next week, I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail. They get out and they just talk for a week. They discuss everything one at a time. They don't go to this whole, oh, we can get a better deal. We can do this. We can do that. Oh, look at this, 3 minutes to go. I get a bit of a breakaway, but he shuts me out. We can get a better deal. We can do this. You know, it should be, let's negotiate this to get a good deal for both sides. And that's exactly it. The league can't compete at 87%, but they have signed contracts for players that they need to honour to a point. They went up like 3 levels because I picked the Otters, so that was alright. If you take a look, here's the shots and stuff like that. Well, anyway, it's been a pleasure, guys. Leave some comments if you've got any other questions. I'll happily answer.